Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 3, Episode 48. The best drone under $500 is. Hope everyone is doing well on November 17th. I am. We're going to take you out of all the doldrums of all the news going on, and we're going to get you some good news here, okay? That's what we aim to do around here, okay? So hope everybody's doing well. Finally got weather to the point here where we're doing good, okay? And then all of a sudden today, I go outside to set out something on the porch for the mailman to pick up, and it was 63 degrees this morning. I did not expect it, okay? It was unexpected, to say the least. So let's greet everybody here. Matt Cundiff, Sam Burns, Johnny Drone Flyer, welcome. Mid-Valley Drones, welcome, my friend. How are you, Stephen? Leonard Oglesby, Drone Master, my good friend from South Florida. How are you, Tom? Hope you guys are doing well. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Let's see, Matt Cundiff, ABQ Quadcopter is here. Gene Fox is here. John Olson is here. We got a lot in store tonight. Ken Hoffbauer is here. Drone Worship Cinematography is here. Okay. All right. Got a lot to talk about tonight. Ron Brown is going to be joining us second half of the show, and you don't want to miss this, okay? It's going to be great. We're going to have a real good time. As far as news is concerned, we're still kind of waiting for the news regarding the FAA, finalizing things regarding remote ID. So stay tuned with that. And as soon as we do get some finalization with that and what it's going to be like, what it's going to entail and everything, I'll get Brendan Schulman back here, and that will be a great show. I hope you guys, if you guys he'll be able to spell everything out clearly. He does this kind of stuff day in and day out, and he really makes it very, very easy for all of us to understand. So that's going to be coming up. We got a lot to look forward to. Now, you know what happens in December, okay? Rick Smith has his 12 days of Christmas giveaway. We have our giveaway here too. Not 12 days anymore, but we're going to be having a few days, maybe 2 or 3 in a row. We're going to have some giveaways, and it's going to be Build a Drone Reviewer. We're going to give away a polo shirt, going to give away a T-shirt, mugs, great stuff. And, like we said, Valerie and I talked about it, and I figured it would be better for you guys to give you something that's not drone specific. That way, I don't give you a Mini 2 landing gear and you don't have a Mini 2 kind of thing. So, but anyway, first thing I wanted to talk about tonight is actually kind of interesting here. Found out today from Hey Kesteloo that it's this now. This is an absolutely insane deal. The Autel Evo 2 8K is discounted by $448 on Amazon. Okay. There's a discount code. Now, they said there was only 20 of these available, but you can see right here, it shows when you punch in that discount code, $448 off, brings it to just a little over $1,000. Of course, with sales tax, it's about $1,100, but still, great drone. I mean, it really is a great drone. I mean, and that's an exceptional discount on it. Now, the kicker in all of this is, and I do want to let you guys know this, the biggest, Achilles heel with all this, there were only 20 of them left. So they may be gone. Just want to let you guys know that. That's about the biggest piece of news that I can find for today out there. There wasn't a whole lot else, but that's pretty significant. If it's still available, I wouldn't hesitate. Go out there and grab it, guys. I mean, physically, I can tell you this. The Evo's way more than, say, the Mavic 2 does. You're going to get better flight characteristics out of a Mavic 2. But then with the Evo 2, the things you'll get, there's no geofencing, okay? You get incredible battery time, at least 40 minutes with that. And with this, you get the 8K, and the other one has the 6K with it as well. So, those are the things to bear in mind if you're thinking about getting one of these. I know Ron Brown got the 6K, and I'm anxious to see some more videos from Ron on that. So stay tuned. Maybe we can ask him that when he's on in the second half of the show tonight. So look forward to that. So yeah, that's about it for news today. I mean, I wish I had something else to tell you guys, something, we got this today. Well, there's really nothing out there like today. One of the things, and you saw the title of the program, this is what we're going to talk about for a while till Ron joins us. Best drone under $500. Okay. Now, the first one I'm going to talk about is the Femi X8 Se 2020. Okay. Now, we had, a lot of people like this drone. And I will tell you, overall, I like this drone. Okay. I think what I think my Achilles heel with it is, and it's not the horizon tilt issue. It is the interference issue and, engaging return to home automatically. And next thing I know, it's coming back and there's nothing I can do about it. But I'll tell you what, there's one of the things with this drone that has just been an incredibly pleasant surprise. I mean, granted, this was a $425 drone, so you don't expect you're going to get even, like the Autel kind of experience or the DJI kind of experience with this. But I want to show you this short clip on something that I think it does just as well as a DJI drone. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and bring this clip up here. I'll expand it so you guys can see it. Okay. Landing pad not detected. Low battery. Okay, we're going to work on that here. We're working on that. Landing pad is now detected. And this isn't looking too good. Okay, the drone is adjusting itself. It continues to adjust itself. And we got 3 of the 4 on the pad, so that. Okay. I don't know about you, but that was pretty doggone impressive to me. Okay. How and you saw how it adjusted itself tremendously, and 3 of the 4 I'll count it as on the pad. I mean, that's pretty significant to me. Okay. The cinematography that you get from this drone, I think. Let's go ahead and I'm going to play just a short little clip from that here. Now, the actual camera image, now it's the screen image here, but let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick. Go ahead. We're going to head out toward the far end of the lake there. Let's see if we can achieve the top speed. And it is zooming here, folks. 42 miles an hour. It is really motoring. Okay. Probably not the best clip to show you, but I think overall for a $500 or a $425 drone, I mean, that's pretty doggone decent. Okay. I would call it very respectable. Like I said, for me, my big issue is the interference issue. And, It crops up. It's the same spot in the lake every time. And it doesn't matter if I'm at 100 feet or 400 feet. It's going to be there. All right. That's just one of the things. And, you know, there's nothing I can do about it. I mean, it's something Fimi needs to put better shielding in there. That's the bottom line on that. Okay. And I know from being out on the page on the group, you know, that's a big concern for people. So yeah, it's on my list of drones that I would recommend for under $500. You know, I think it handles the wind very well. You know, it has great battery life. I think you get a decent amount of flight time with that. The sport mode, it is very fast, which is great. You know, I don't see a lot. If you're into videography, you know, cinematography kind of a thing, you probably just want to keep it in the middle mode, the normal mode. You know, the vivid color on there, they really come through. So all in all, you know, that's Michael Wright. Welcome. Just saw you here. Fly Zone drone quadcopters. Okay, you Fly Zone just posted your new video. Date on the Femi X8 and a Smart Track. Bill, you won't believe when you see. Just watch it. Okay. Okay. I will definitely take that into consideration. Thank you for letting me know that. That's very interesting. Okay. So, you know, that's my take on the Fimi. Would I recommend it? Absolutely. Okay. $425, you know, thereabouts, give or take, you know, what it is with the current prices right now. I'm not exactly familiar with that, but with all being said and done, you know, that's definitely a drone that I would recommend. Okay. Now we're going to get to another drone, and Bill from Metro Drones. Thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated, my friend. We thank you so much. And thank you so much for the support of the channel. Really appreciate it. Okay. Now we're going to go to one of the other contenders here. Okay. The Hubsan Xeno2. You know, I was almost wanting to call this part the best of times and the worst of times, okay? Because that's what it pretty much seems like with the Xeno2. And, you know, Ron can probably attest to it. And I know if Marcus was available, he could chime in on this as well. You know, early on for Marcus, he just had a lot of issues. You know, the stability after taking off, hovering, you know, was just all over the place. It really was just, it was a nightmare for Marcus. And now after several firmware updates, it's finally calmed itself down. But conversely speaking, for Ron, he never had those issues. He never ran into any of that kind of stuff. Jay Bird, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that, my friend. How come or not clean up the drones that are RTF that you strap a camera to? I don't know what you're talking about, Dan. Anyway, all right. So the Xeno2 for Ron, he never had any of those issues. Okay. Pretty much out of the box, it hovered like it should, acquired its GPS lock, got up there, did everything right. You know, now the only Achilles heel with the Xeno2 is that lens flare issue. And it's very prevalent. I mean, Ron saw it very easily, you know, he likes it. He has access to the beach very easily, and you could see it. It's very prevalent. Marcus had seen it too. So would I recommend it? Probably under, you know, I would put it a notch below the Fimi X8 Se 2020. You know, having that issue with a camera, I mean, that's a hardware issue. That's not a software issue. That's nothing that's going to be fixed, so to speak, as far as getting that taken care of, you know, with a firmware update. So that's going to be some problem with that. I mean, you know, that's really something that people need to think about. So would I'd recommend it, but I would go into it with eyes wide open. Okay. Now it's going to be pricier than the Fimi. For everything that I'm seeing, prices are all over the map with that right now. Now there's a Xeno2 Pro Plus. Probably, a little bit more range, battery life, I think. Not sure what some of the other differences are, but I'm not, you need to go into it with eyes wide open. If you know that and are willing to assume some of the risks with it, then that would be something that you would want to consider. But I would recommend the Femi X8 Se 2020 before I would recommend the Hubsan Xeno2 in any of the variants. I have no idea about the newer variants. I do know Marcus has a Xeno Pro Plus, and I think he just put a video out about it. I haven't seen it yet. He had a backlog. He was trying to get to it when he had his Mini 2. We're going to have, and what we're going to look at right now is we're going to talk about the Mini 2 for a little bit in terms of looking at it as far as a drone under $500. Now, I do have a, oh, that's the Fimi. All right. That's for the next segment. There we go. All right. Now, I do have a short clip from a video. It's kind of, I'll call it a teaser here, okay, from my video. I got 2 videos that I'm working on right now. I should get one out tomorrow. I should get another one out over the weekend about my first couple of flights with a Mini 2. One of the things that I think people have a tendency to look at, these are the things that are important about the Mini 2. A lot of people, it's the 4K. OcuSync 2.0 and probably be able to work with a smart controller. So there's a lot there. There's a lot to be said with that. Oh, Stephen Ewing's here tonight. Welcome. Do you think the issue with the Mini 2 is a hardware or software? Stephen, I don't know what issue you're referring to, but if you want to go ahead and post that. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and show you a clip that's going to be it's a raw clip. It's not edited at all, but I wanted to show you what the 4K looks like. Now, no, it's not, you're not going to see it in 4K because of the stream, but it kind of give you a sense and an idea of how things look with this. So let's go ahead and get this on here for you guys. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I was pretty impressed with that. I mean, I think all in all, that did a fantastic job. Marcus's issue and Ron's issue. Sam, we're going to be talking about that coming up. That's why we're going to be talking about those things when Ron joins us here in just a little bit. I haven't experienced any issues at all. I've had it out for 3 to 4 flights. I've experienced no issues. But, one of the things that I tell everybody, and I know Ron and Marcus did this, when, you do your firmware updates, batteries fully charged, everything, you do an IMU calibration. But when you get a brand new drone, brand new out of the box, you want to do an IMU calibration. I can't emphasize that enough. One of the other things you want to do, and again, this is because it's out of the box, it's new, a compass calibration. A lot of times it won't call for it, but I would still do one. And another one is a controller calibration as well, too. Again, when you get a new drone, this is just, it's been done, you're getting it from the factory, okay? It was maybe possibly calibrated at the factory before it came, but it gets shipped and it's in transit and you don't know how long it's been sitting. So those are the things that I highly recommend that you do, with that. Now, we're going to play and we're going to be talking about that here in a minute when Ron joins us. But, so far, what I've seen from the Mini 2, we're looking pretty good here. Now, as far as Marcus is concerned, he did send his back, and I don't know if you guys have. I don't know how much he talked about. I didn't have an opportunity to watch, Drone Nation last night. I had some other things to do, but I don't. Marcus sent it back. To have it looked at, which was probably a wise decision to go ahead and do that. Lauren suggested that he do that, so he did. And I think last I heard that they have his drone and they're evaluating it right now. And we're going to talk to Ron. We're going to have him here. We're going to play the part of the video and everything, and we're going to talk about this when Ron comes on. It was Marcus's issue was just an incredible anomaly. I mean, it just all of a sudden, if you watch that, I mean, it looked like it was heading down and out of control and nothing you could do. And then all of a sudden it corrected itself like that. So, hey, Mikey's here in the house tonight. All right, Mikey. Hope you guys tune in to Philly Drone and Mikey tonight, and Ron tonight. I'm sorry, they're on after us here at 9. If you need you won't need caffeine after watching Mikey. Mikey, we love you. You do a great job, my friend. All right, so with all that being said, it's still, the jury's still out about the Mini 2. I mean, it's early, okay, but for me, after having 3 flights under my belt, it's done well. I had some moderate winds on one of my flight, probably about 20 mile an hour or so. Didn't phase it. I didn't get any high wind warnings. The drone did not seem to struggle. I seemed to get good speed from it, both the coming and the going with that. DJI said his Mini 2 had a bad board and they're replacing under warranty. Leonard, thank you for that update. Appreciate that. Okay, that's good news. Well, I'm happy that Marcus did the right thing, and Lauren did the right thing in telling him, and Marcus did the right thing in sending it back. So that's a great thing, and that's great news for him. But it's like, okay, where Marcus lives, his window of opportunity to fly is rapidly closing because, living in Idaho, you start to get nasty weather this time of year. And same for Ron too, living in Jersey. I mean, the weather's turning down here in Florida. I mean, it dropped like 20 degrees. I mean, it's just like, hello, summer's over, it's now fall, it's officially fall now here in Florida. Okay. So never mind. I won't get into all the specifics about that. So that's good for Marcus. That's good to hear that. For the Mavic 2, as far as recommending it for a drone, or the Mini 2, that bad apples happen. Okay. I'm real anxious to get Ron on and to see what his take is on his Mini 2 and his flight. I did get a chance to look at his video, and it just, nothing was out of the norm. I mean, nothing at all. Normally, taking these, incidents aside, for me so far, I haven't seen anything, to be honest with you. I mean, the only thing that I did notice with this, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit in one of my videos, precision landing isn't there. Okay. It will come within a reasonable distance of your landing pad, but it's not going to be a bullseye like a Mavic 2 or maybe a Mavic Air 2 or a Phantom 4 Pro. You're not going to hit the bullseye with it, but it'll be in the vicinity, which is usually fairly good. But, a lot of times, people that use that, you can see that's not going to hit the pad. You'll X out of it and you'll land manually if you want, if you're so inclined to do that, So as far as that's concerned, Yeah, yep, Stephen. Yeah, you're in the Sun Belt. You got it made in the shade. That's for sure. Um, you know, we do too as well. And I can tell you guys this: for us, the colder months here in Florida, usually January and February, temperature usually dips. We can get to freezing overnight, and I think in the 11 years I've lived down here, 10 years I've lived down here. I think it's gotten down into the 20s once overnight, which is super cold down here. And one of the things people need to realize down in Florida, because of the humidity, the moisture in the air, when they say, for example, it's 35 degrees out, it really feels like it's 25 because it's just like absolutely positively bone chilling here. And the funniest thing, if you're a northerner like me, okay, if you're a Yankee like me, and you come down here, let's say it gets, dips down into the 40s. Now, yeah, you got to wear a coat and stuff, but it's so funny. People will be putting on parkas and cowling sweaters and, wear hats and all this stuff. And it's just like, I'm sorry, I gotta laugh a little bit because it's like, it's not like up north, guys. It's like, you bundle for the Arctic up north, and it's like people want to do it here. Apparently they got stuff in their closet that they, want to break out and wear. So be it. Okay. So yeah, that's where we're getting that's why we get those kind of things for that. So I'm going to go ahead, it's around 8:30. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and play the clip from Ron's video. Just kind of wanted to set it up. This is looking like a completely normal flight. And I'm sure Ron talked about this last night. But from watching it, okay, it looks like a completely normal flight. Let's go ahead and roll the clip, and then we're going to talk about it a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll the clip from here, and then we're going to wait for Ron to come on and get his take of things on how things are. So, Hank, let's go ahead and bring that up here.
At this point, the flight was going beautifully. I was soaring with the eagles up there, the birds, recording some great fall foliage. It was a great day to fly, as Bill would say. The Me Too was performing well, recording some very cinematic looking video up there. But don't be fooled. Disaster was going to strike soon. Okay, this is the map of my second flight of the day, which is my fatal flight here. As you can see, the drone's in the air now.
Ron, welcome.
Hello, Bill. How are you tonight? And how's everybody in the chat tonight? Good to see everybody here.
Your timing was impeccable. That's all I have to say. It was great. And I watched it, after you put the video out, and I'm looking and I'm like, it just came out of nowhere. Really. I mean, it just came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Hey, got an update. DJI contacted me today.
Okay.
And somebody from, I guess, that does PR wants me to send them all the numbers of the drone I shipped back to them so they can, follow along the story. And I do want to say that, when I sent it back to the DJI, there was a button you could click a box that authorized them to do a complete analysis of what happened. So if DJI does come back with the conclusion, that it was my fault or I did anything wrong, which a lot of people make comments in the video and they may be right, I will definitely, publish the results of the survey, whether it says I crashed into the tree or something else happened, but any way it comes out, because I'm not trying to bash the Mini 2 at all. I think it's a great drone. I think it's, for most people, I think it's for the budget and a beginner drone. I think it's a great drone. Maybe it's pilot error. Maybe like Marcus, he revealed last night, they already have his and they found a bad board on his. So, I don't think it's any type of global problem with the Mini 2 at all. Again, it could be an isolated incident, or it could just have been pilot error on my parts. I'm not here to throw the Mini 2 under the bus at all. If you're thinking about getting a Mini 2, I would ignore, my video and just get it anyways.
Yeah, I mean, after seeing it several times, looking at your wonderful cinematography, and then you go lower and stuff, and it's just like gotta love it. I love your choice for the music, by the way, the dramatic music. That was great. And then you're not really because what's going to happen. You're just like and it just comes. It's like a bolt out of the blue. It's like all of a sudden you're flying, and I have to say this. It kind of was the same way for Marcus. He's just flying, and then just doing what he's doing, and then all of a sudden his drone goes nuts, and then all of a sudden, same thing for you.
And it all happened so fast, like again, if it's my fault, I'm certainly not trying to hide anything, because again, I have nothing to worry about, because I wisely got DJI Care refreshed. So whether it's my fault or not, I'm getting a drone back, working. But it all happened so fast, because my wife was there with me too, Bill.
Oh, she saw it too.
And according to her, the drone was already flying off, as you saw, to the opposite side when I was hitting return to home. Now, some people in the comments of the video think that I did not initiate the return to home stuff till after it crashed into the tree. And I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying it happened so fast, and by the timeline of my wife telling me what she saw, whatever, it seemed like I was hitting return to home before it hit the tree. But again, we will find out, the results what DJI does their research into it. And in an Alexis there, I will accept the results of DJI study. I won't challenge the results of DJI study.
No recount, no audit.
If DJI says I had full control and I crashed into the tree, well, there it is. I'll own it, and I'll make a video and read those results. So no, we're not trying to hide anything here at all.
Well, just from and this is one of these things, because you probably saw the title of my episode. It's like best drone for under $500. And I was talking right before you joined us, and I said, I had 3 flights. I have 3 flights under my belt with it, and I haven't seen any anomalies from it. I mean, I had it up. My second flight, I did a high altitude test, and I had no anomalies with it whatsoever. And the end of the lake where I have problems with with Wi-Fi drones, no problems whatsoever with that. Right. I had strong FPV signal the whole way. I mean, I can go up to probably about 3,000 feet before I hit, go over houses and things. No issues whatsoever with that. Everything was stellar. Battery life was as expected. Well, the one thing that surprised me, and it's actually, I didn't know it because I was asking you guys, no precision landing. I mean, that was one of those things that I'm like, okay, wow, all right. That was just like, I'm expecting, it's just like you take it for granted when you get a DJI drone. I mean, the Spark had precision landing, for gosh sake.
And even like our kind of like, advanced 20 grade drones, like our Hubsans and our Fimis have they kind of have precision landing also.
Yeah. Well, I was playing a clip, for best drones under $500. And I showed one of the things that surprised me the most about the Femi X8 Se 2020 is its ability to find the pad. I mean, you could see it making adjustments to find the pad as it's going down. And like I said, for $425, I mean, to get some of these things that you get with that is incredible. But, for me, my thing with the Fimi, I still recommend it. But my thing with that is, they need to put in some kind of better shielding as far as the Wi-Fi is concerned, because it just, every time, I hit that certain part of the lake, it's just like boom, and it initiates that return to home.
Yeah, I made a comment, maybe this is a Marcus off air, maybe the show, but I'm saying, almost everybody that flies a whole lot has somewhat of a spot near either their house or where they fly, where it's like it's kind of Herstros. And I have a place out here, the next town north of me is called Ventnor City. They have a fishing pier like I have. But even my DJI OcuSync 2 drones, when I get it around there, I won't say I have complete loss of signal or FPV, but they struggle around this pier. You always see it go in and out, and get even OcuSync 2 drones. So we all can find a spot near us. And Mike has his alien building. We all know a spot where it could just be Wi-Fi drones, even sometimes OcuSync drones, where you see a little funny loss of connection. So it's kind of odd. We all have our spots.
Oh yeah. Well, one of the other drones that we had talked about before you came on was the Xeno2. And I said, I called it, it was like the best of times for you and the worst of times for Marcus until the firmware updates started coming and he was able to get some things here. But the big thing with that drone that remains is that lens flare issue, because that's hardware. You can have the most incredible software updates, but until you get that hardware issue taken care of with the Xeno2, it's going to fall down. And for me, it's last on the list because of that. I mean, who wants, for you, for me, I mean, we're around the sun a lot, and it's gonna cause an issue.
Yeah. Again, you have to pick your, almost pick your weak spots in the budget drones. Like before the Air 2 came along, the Air was better than the Fimi and Hubsan and everything, except that it didn't do well in the wind. Then you had the Xeno2, which has the lens flare issue. Then you got the Fimi, which sound like the best of the bunch, but they have the horizon tilt issue still lingers on for some, and the color, the white, I'll call it the white balance. The colors are off on that, from firmware update to firmware update. So I mean, it's like pick what weakness works best for you. So it's kind of mixed bag until the Mini 2 came along and seemed to solve all the problems, because I'm not telling you the Mini 2 can handle the wind like the Femi X8 or the Xeno2, but it's good enough for most occasions.
That's one
thing.
What
have you found in your wind test with your Xeno2 so far?
Moderate wind, it handled it really well, Ron. The second flight that I had it up was about 20, 25 mile an hour wind. No, it was the third flight. And I was pretty impressed. Okay. It was something, I don't think the Mini 1 could have handled that. I think I would have gotten the high wind warnings. It would have been popping up all the time like crazy. I didn't get any on it. And one of the things that I noticed was, I didn't seem to lose more battery. In other words, it wasn't like I was fighting a headwind to come back kind of a thing. It didn't struggle, because I know Marcus had that issue with his original Mini. When he went out to Snake River Canyon and was flying, he had a tailwind, which was great, but a headwind coming back and, having that struggle. I didn't have that struggle at all. Now, one of the things that I noticed with the Mini which was real interesting, was out of the box, and this was so funny for me. All right, it had return to home height set at 325 feet. Okay, so I'm getting ready to do test return to home for the first time, and then the drone's just going up, and I'm like, what happened here? And then it hit me like a light what it was. It was return to home altitude was set. So, when I got it back to my house, I reset it down to what it should be. I put it to like to 98 feet, and then it was fine after that.
Right.
But,
I interject this in. Did you the fly update got an update, I think, around Friday, and I haven't done the update yet, even on the air too, or whatever. But I read that it now defaults the return to home height to like 399 feet or whatever. So they're even pushing up further now with the most recent update.
Well, what was real interesting when I did my high altitude flight, and because every time I've done a high altitude test, and I'm going to include the Fimi on this, it would hit 398 or 396 and then stop. Okay. And it said, you get the warning, maximum altitude reached, all that kind of stuff. On the Mini 2, it was up 403, 404, 405, and then finally it stops. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I mean, that hasn't happened before to see something like that, because I expected, 396, 398 is just going to stop and I'll get the warning. But it didn't have, it just kept on going. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. But the thing that really has impressed me with the Mini 2, all right, is that camera quality, Ron. That 4K out of there. Ron, for the price, for what you pay for that drone, to get 4K like that. I mean, that unmatched by either the Fimi or the Hubsan or anything. Yeah.
Unmatched, not even in the ballpark or whatever. Yeah. So much in the proper lighting, like at the beginning of the crash video when I'm flying, like with the light being proper, whatever. I couldn't have did better with my more expensive drones because it had all the light it needed to capture what it needed to capture.
Yeah. And I can see now, the scuttlebutt was that Frank Wang really wanted 4K on the Mini. So this is what they came out with. And, it's just like, it never ceases to amaze me. And and we've all three of us, Marcus too has talked about it. It never ceases to amaze me, what DJI comes up for us when they release a new drone. Okay.
Speaking of that, Bill, did you see the rumor Billy Kyle dropped this week that little light in the front of the Mini 2, that was intended to be a single optical avoidance sensor, but at the last minute they dished it, just put the light in there.
Oh,
yeah. It looks like that light wasn't just like, they had to do something real quick because I guess they had the shell design made and had that little hole there for the obstacle avoidance sensor. But I guess, and here's sort of their proof. If you weigh the little Mini 2, it doesn't weigh 490 grams. It weighs much less than that because with not having the optical flow sensor, the optical avoidance sensor in there, it makes it weigh much less than the 490 grams.
Okay, that's very interesting.
Yeah, I've been heard that story a couple days ago, but it's circulating around now. Like I don't believe Billy's the only source for that story.
Well, one of the things.
So get your folks. Get your money ready for the Mavic 3 next November. It will have, the Mini 3 next November. Pretty sure it's going to have at least front-facing optical avoidance sensor. And it wouldn't help me because I think I hit the tree on the side.
Yeah. See, there's only one DJI drone that two will do it from the side, but the Mavic 2. But you have to be engaged in one of the modes to get that, which I think I've all along have wished that DJI would just put a firmware update out for that.
I think Lon's comment, he told me I should have been flying like Skydio or something like that. It wouldn't have hit the tree.
Yeah.
But actually, it's a little dark then, so maybe it would have. I should have been flying the Evo 2. It has a million sensors on it too.
Now, I don't know if you saw this, and we talked about it earlier, but Hey Kestelou put it out on Drone XL that Amazon has the Evo 2 8K with a coupon $400 off. I don't know if you saw that or not.
I did see. Yeah.
There was only 20 of them, and I told everybody it's just like, first come, first serve. That's an incredible deal.
That's putting that thing on about $1,200 in the $1,200 range, right?
Yeah, that's a real tempting thought for people here.
Did we talk about this the last time we were in the show? I mean, like, I don't want to get off the subject here, but as far about Evo, we've had all these great drones come out, recently. It's DJI, and then earlier near Autel, and then it looks like it's strong rumors that we may even get the FPV drone before the end of the year, but that'll be sort of a niche drone, like. But what do you, outside the FPV drone from DJI? What else is on the horizon? We may not see a real, anything that said we would like to buy it for a long until that Mavic 3 comes out, and that may not be until summer.
I'm thinking that's going to be late summer. I don't think we'll see that till July, August, maybe, because we got
a long wait after flurry of drones. Not saying, I mean, we're going to be fine. There's more good drones out there than you could, than you need right now. But it's going to be a dry spell for a while, Bill.
It is. And one of the things that I was telling people is, before you joined, a lot of the reason that people saying why they, with the Mavic 3, okay, realize something here. There's several reasons. The first is, Mavic Air 2 and the Mini 2. All right. DJI is not going to crowd the market. All right. Right now. Okay. Even if the Mavic 3 had been ready, they would delay it. They know their marketing. They know how to market their products. I mean, the worst thing you can do is flood the market, because it would just, your sales would suffer for something like that. Number one. Number two, and it's probably the driving force behind it, is it's still not 100%. I mean, it's getting close to being finalized about remote ID. So they kind of need to wait and see where the FAA is going with that and their solution. And one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to ping Brendan Schulman after they've made that decision, because he's one of the subject matter experts on it, and really enjoyed having him on. He liked being on. He loved all the questions, and get him back on here in a forum where
he'll be able to dissect some of this more so than us lay people could.
Oh yeah, because this is something he digests this day in and day out. He'll know this. He'll be able to spell it out for everybody exactly what we can expect.
And we'll invite the CEO of Scotty on too, since they had like a little tweet war a little while back.
Yeah,
for words, but I make fun of it, but it's actually good. I like to see a little competition between these joke companies. You know what I mean? Like I know people. I think that was a good thing that they were going back. That means each one's going to be challenged to outdo the other, and that's good for us consumers. Hey, and Brendan put a well-seen tweet out last week where he said DJI is not done yet this year with releasing stuff. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that, and I'm thinking, a couple of things. You had mentioned that the FPV drone coming out, which I agree, and I think they'll probably do like the Osmo Action 2. They want to get something out there to, GoPro came out with the Hero 9, and
that's sort of a howdy type gift too. So that's timing, because not only GoPro, but everybody, look, GoPro came out with the 9, the Insta360 came out with their new product. So all the kind of action-y camera, the Pocket 2, all that type of stuff just got refreshed. So if they don't get the Osmo, what is it, Mobile 2? What's the action camera called?
It's called the Action. They'll probably call it the Action 2.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't get it out in this thing, they're losing the boat to everybody else who just updated their cameras. And you saw the Insta360; they're all jumping this thing now, where it has the action camera mode in it. So if you have it, you just want to use it like a regular action camera, you could just use one of the cameras.
Oh yeah, well,
and that's what the GoPro product too. What's the name of their 360 product? You also have a button where you can just switch and use one lens, and it could just be a regular action camera too. So these 360 guys are kind of like, they're trying to kind of cover two bases now, So they're more competition to the people that only do action cameras.
Well, their timing for this is great, because getting something like a drone, let's say, not say a Mini 2, but you're thinking $799 for a drone, and then over $1,000 for a drone. You're thinking twice about trying to get something for somebody for Christmas versus, say, an Action 2 camera. Probably in the $300 ballpark, $400 ballpark. That's a lot more doable with things like that. And one of the things that I found, I was one of the first ones to get the Osmo Action, is, I found it easy to find accessories, and I also found it easy. I think the only thing that was really missing was the sound option with that. And, it came out, it was a little delayed, but it did come out. And, Ron, for the bang, for the buck, for what you get for it, the Osmo Action is fantastic. I mean, I use it every time I go fly. I record my landings and takeoffs. I record the takeoff pad, and I have it at such an angle that you can see it coming back. So, it's one of those things that's part of my toolkit when I do fly all the time. And I think it's invaluable. And using it.
Yeah, I agree with you, Bill.
As an action cam, well, I did it last year when, or 2009, 2019, when we went up after our granddaughter was born. I used it to vlog, and it's a great vlogging camera. I mean, it picked up. And one of the things that really impressed me, even without the sound update, we went over to Sam's Club on a Saturday, and you know how busy Sam's or Costco is on a Saturday with all the noise and everything. Right in front of me, you could hear me. I wasn't screaming, wasn't shouting, and it was normal. I mean, the audio was fantastic. So you do get a lot of bang for your buck with that. Really.
I would buy the Action 2. I'm probably not a Pocket 2 person. Not that I don't think it's a good product, a good camera, but I mean, I'd rather have the ruggedness of the action camera rather than if I really wanted to, instead of getting the Pocket 2, all I need is my iPhone and the Osmo 4 gimbal, and I basically have a Pocket 2 or whatever on the Osmo 4. Now people are going to say, well, it's not as small, whatever, and that's very true, whatever. But to me, a device like the Pocket 2, the problem is that screen's so small that half the time I use my phone with that type of device anyways. So already I'm not mobile once I attach the phone to it anyways. I frame a much better picture and video if I have my screen rather than just look at the Pocket, just weigh this thing down where I'm just hoping I catch up because the screen too small. And again, if people out there are going to love the Pocket, and I'm not saying it's just not the good camera for me. It's a good camera, and for many people, but for me, I prefer the action camera,
Well, we got some breaking news from Marcus, who's in the chat. His Mini 2 will be back by Friday.
Oh, that is great news.
That is fantastic news, Marcus. I know he's chomping at the bit. I know. And like I was telling, I was before, that time lapse for weather, especially, living in a northern climate and, living out in Idaho, that weather can change in a heartbeat. And, you need to take advantage of the good days while you can. I'm preaching to the choir with you, Ron. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Right. We had wind kick up, and we had like almost a week of like no wind, and the wind kicked up pretty good just the other day. So that's why I don't have it handy here, but that's why I got my my Evo 2 Pro. That thing's a tank up there in the wind. It doesn't.
That even but the original Evo and that one, it's not going to go anywhere as far as the wind is concerned up there. Well,
I talked about Osmo 4 a minute ago. You want to real quick? I know we're getting near the end of the show.
No, go ahead.
I know you like this type of product. Well, your little hard cases for the
look at that.
With a I can't. It's hard to get the lighting in the dark, but it's got the cutout in there for the. I'm not talking about getting the light fixed, but the cutouts right here for the the thing.
Oh, perfect.
I'm not sure who makes this, but how about the way they had the logo on the front there?
OM4, that's nice. That is nice.
I got a new RC car to review. The Hay Boxing Desert Truck.
Oh wow.
Ron.
The
thing is, these trucks are real nice, but the one you get, the year before, they never add any features. It has the same exact features, I think, as the one last year. You know what I mean? Like they don't. Again, don't tell anybody, but the RC truck industry or whatever, there's no innovation. It'd be like us getting the the Mini 2 and it would have the same exact specs as the Mini 1.
Ron, I just had that car, the same one you had. It was a different color though. It's the same exact thing. Well, and you know what? I got smart and I purchased. It looks like a big clothespin, but it's a clamp, and it has an adapter. And what I did was I put it on one of the RC cars, okay, and I attached the Osmo Action on it. And it was rock solid. It didn't move anywhere. Okay. At first I had it like on the back roll bar and stuff, and it was flopping around all over the place. But then I got smart, put it on there, and it was like a champ. It didn't have an issue with it at all. I mean, and great video from it too. I mean, I was pretty impressed with that.
Well, why FPV so big? You think one of these people would put like an FPV camera in the front there and send you the little goggles with it, and just think you could drive it all over the place if you could see the FPV or whatever. You could drive around the corner and all that. I wonder why a product like that doesn't show up on the market. Since FPV,
that would really
be. FPV. I wouldn't be afraid to drive FPV.
Yeah, see, I can't because my spatial awareness and things. I can't do FPV. That's not going to work for me.
Right.
But if it's on the ground,
you could in the car, right?
If it's on the ground in a car, I could do that all day long. I mean, that would not be any kind of an issue for me at all, as far as that's concerned. So
you wonder why there's no innovation in the RC car market. I mean, they may put, I don't know, bigger battery in it, whatever, something like that, but there's no real innovation. They're the same thing outside of maybe a little bit bigger battery, maybe I don't know, gears are better, whatever, but there's no real innovation. It's all very incremental. So
BMAX Aerial Visual said too much shutter and shake on one of those RC cars with almost any kind of camera. Well, I agree to a certain extent, but with the smooth feature on the Osmo Action, it really got a lot of that out. I mean, it really looked good, and I'll tell you what, a couple of the two cars that I've had, it had great rollover capability. It would roll over and it would keep going. I mean, there was no, there was no lag. I mean, there was no having to go.
It has come a long way. If it's not now, it will be soon.
I was pretty impressed. Well, we had a change in weather down here today. It dropped 20 degrees from yesterday today. So it's like, hello, summer's over. Now we're officially into fall. Of course, it's almost the end of November now. So go figure that.
The hurricane, the last hurricane blew away. You didn't get anything from it?
No, we got a lot of rain. We got about 6-7 inches of rain here and a lot of wind. But the problem was, and it was interesting, the development that we live in, between the houses, it's like this V for drainage purposes, okay? Now, a lot of people have put swimming pools in, and what they do is they take those mini tractors and they go through those areas when they put in the pool, and they screw up the drainage there, okay? And the water pools there like crazy. A lot of people had some water coming into their houses through the stucco and that kind of thing, and it was because of things like that. Where we don't have it on either side of the house, the drainage is right in the way it's supposed to be. We didn't have any issues, but we did get a ton of rain. We had to pour all our patio furniture. Winds were probably about 65, 70 miles an hour. I mean, it had to pay attention to what was going on with it.
Yeah, I live in a barrier island here at the shore. Every time they fix flooding in one part of town, all they do is move the flooding to a different spot. You know what I mean? Yeah. They never really get rid of it. Just, okay, well, that street no longer floods, but now these other streets do.
So is Mikey, are you and Mikey on coming up?
We're going live tonight, and I don't know if we have a topic, but we're going live in a few minutes, so I better scoot off of here. So sorry I was a little late tonight, but
no, really appreciate you coming on tonight, Ron. Give us the
support, and when I get the final answer from DJI and what happened, I'll come back on the show, and we could do a little Q&A. And
definitely.
If say it was my fault, I flew it right in the tree. That's what we're going to get right in the show. Whatever their report says, we're going to get in the show, and we're going to own it and whatever. Or if they say there was a bad board or something, then we're going to, we're not here to hide anything. If it was user error, it was user error. If it was a part function, it was a part function. We just want to know. And again, I'm going to, by Marcus at the last minute, you always stress this too, Bill, remind me to get the care refreshed. I'm kind of taken care of either way.
Oh yeah, either way you're good.
Placements if they say it was my fault.
Well, and Ron, I gotta say kudos to you. And I said this with Marcus, when I played his video too, is the coolness that Marcus had under that. It's like, you're probably going to lose your drone here, kind of a thing, and he was very cool and calm and collect. And, and with you, your attitude's to be commended, Ron, because, if it's my fault, it's my fault. That's, and that's how we should look at it, instead of, that son of a, and start flying off the handle kind of a thing. Realize, we're imperfect. We make mistakes. Okay. And also too, technology can have an issue.
So, about saying cool, whatever. I told somebody off air, I said, I was cool because I was thinking, thank goodness this isn't my Evo 2 or one of my.
Oh yeah. If you're going to lose a drone, let's make it something like a Mini, where it's done well under $1,000 kind of thing. Well, for me, too bad it wasn't a Hubsan or something, right? Yeah, really. I mean, it's like get your check from the insurance company and then be done, and wait, put that in the piggy bank and wait till the next drone comes down the pike. So,
well, actually, I shouldn't say it, because at least with the Mini 2, even if it would have hit somebody's property or whatever, it could do very little damage to any structure.
Well, Ray Kelly says you're a great guest. I should have you on more. I said absolutely.
Especially especially I hope next time I'm not on to talk about a crash.
Yes. I'm going
to put a video out tomorrow, and I think you're going to love it. It's with the Evo 2, but it's not really about the Evo 2. I had an opportunity to go to the lower Delaware. It's a small part of Delaware that's on the ocean. And I kind of spent a lot of time when I was young, but they have a bridge there that I wanted to film, and I got some nice footage of it. But they also have these World War II artillery towers down there. They built a string of them down there to watch the shore start in 1939 from the German U-boats stuff off the sea. And they had an artillery gun in Cape Penelope, which is a little bit north of there. You had a whole string of these towers, and some of them still survived. And I got some real nice drone footage of these towers lined, because there was two of them kind of close together, and one of them they're trying to raise money to restore the tower, because they have another one in the Cape Penelope State Park that is restored. You can actually walk in it and walk to the top or whatever. So I mean, I know you're a big World War II history buff.
Oh yeah.
No, and this Delaware Sea Coast, why it was so valuable is, if you came up, if the Germans would have lost some kind of attack over the coast of Delaware, they could be in DC in no time. If you looked at a map, the Delaware shore is just hop, skip, and jump from downtown DC. So if they could have got through there and then got over the Chesapeake Bay, they'd have been right there in the White House.
Yeah,
that's why they really guarded the shoreline in late early 40s. So
that was really important for sure.
So anyhow, I thought you'd really appreciate it. And
I'm going to look forward to seeing that.
I have pictures of it. They have a big description of it there, and I kind of got ground pictures with my iPhone of all the pertinent facts about it.
Oh, that's cool, Ron. I'll really be looking forward to that. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, you know what? We're going to wrap up shop here.
Sorry, folks.
Ron, thank you so much for stopping by tonight. Really appreciate your giving some feedback and input as we saw what happened to you, and we know either way you're covered with DJI, so that's going to be a good thing. Want to thank everybody for showing up tonight in the chat. Lots of great comments out there, and it was good seeing everybody tonight. Thank you so much for your support. Thanksgiving's coming up, okay, and you know what? I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving coming up. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Right. So have a good Thanksgiving, but be safe, folks.
Yes, be safe. And as always, it's a great day to fly. Take care, everybody.